Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to Jamaica.
Well, actually, I am officially from Lebanon. I end up in Canada, and when I was living in Canada, I faced lots of medical issues, especially skin and eczema, and lots of complication. And then I thought maybe I can go somewhere where it's nice and hot, different weather. And I end up in Jamaica, call my community, Muslim community, and I end up in Jamaica.
And so there was a Muslim community here that helped you.
Yes, of course. That's they were very helpful. They were very helpful.
Five cultural shocks I suffer when I moved to Jamaica from Cuba. Hi, my name is Flor. I am Cuban and I live in Jamaica for 21 years now. And up to this day, me not stop for shock over them five cultural things here.
Yeah, my people. 10 people arrived by boat from Cuba in a St. James. Look on a little piece of boat, people. To show you how life hard. The people they not no light in their country. Hurricane mash up their country. And they see Jamaica as the paradise. Asians see we as the paradise because they never come up on boat. I just Jamaican alone don't see us as paradise. With the runway, I got other country when we can turn up and make the country a better place. See America Trump win and go and send back everybody at the yard when I feel it there. See, we need to adapt. We need to send back everybody at the yard when I feel there. See the China then come and then they reach out faster than we because we can unite. You get to me and say Jamaica paradise. Leave a like or comment on the video if you agree with me.
Hello, guys. Today I'm going to talk about the reason why many other countries are much interested in Jamaica. You see, like the Hindus, the Chinese, the American, the USA, they are very interested in visiting Jamaica. And I need you to watch this video that shows and tells more about the reason why these people love to visit Jamaica. And the reason, I believe, just be a good listener. You'll hear everything and you'll also wish to visit Jamaica. See this video and be back with more comments.
A bit about yourself and how you got to Jamaica.
Well, actually, I am officially from Lebanon. I end up in Canada, and when I was living in Canada, I faced lots of medical issues, especially skin and eczema, and lots of complication. And then I thought maybe I can go somewhere where it's nice and hot, different weather. And I end up in Jamaica, call my community, Muslim community, and I end up in Jamaica.
And so there was a Muslim community here that helped you.
Yes, of course. That's they were very helpful. They were very helpful. And also when I came here, it's just like all my condition disappeared, and I felt normal and healthy, and everything was like
Because of the sun.
100%. It's the weather, the sun, the earth, the food, the air, everything's in Jamaica helped me.
Is there anything you'd like people to know about the Muslim community here in Jamaica?
We can establish a better community here because they need really help and make them a better place for Muslims to be here.
Okay, so what's your favorite thing about wearing the hijab?
Oh, I love my hijab. I love my hijab. I'm so proud of my hijab. I I consider myself lucky to have hijab and being in Jamaica because I feel I'm so respectful from many people, and I walk here so safe, so nicely, and people respect me so nicely.
How do people respond when they see you?
Number one, they think I am a nun, which fine, and also because I dress like Mary. And when they ask me why you dress like this, I say I dress like Mary. And they're surprised that I believe in Mary, which we love Mary, we respect her, and even Jesus. They were so surprised, so in shock. There are a lack of information about Islam, what we know, what we love, what we worship, and there's lots of information about Mary and Jesus, and that's why I'm happy to walk on the road with my hijab and talk about it.
And is there any challenges that you faced in your life, not just in Jamaica, but while wearing the hijab?
Personally, no, not really. But my daughter did. My daughter did face lots of challenge, lots of them, but we're working on it. We're working on it, and we try to, to inform people that this is not the Islam what they hear on media. They have to search for real Islam, and when they found it, they know what Islam is. It's about love, unity, care, share, and spread peace. And that's what I like to do here. And I love my life here.
Nice,
Yeah,
beautiful.
thank
Anything
you.
else you want anybody to know about you?
Me, I'm a story myself, and I do what I can do for spreading peace and goodness around, and that's what I like to do, and that's my journey. Yeah, and I love it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. That's perfect. Sounds great.
5 cultural shocks I suffer when I moved to Jamaica from Cuba. Hi, my name is Flor. I am Cuban and I live in Jamaica for 21 years now. And up to this day, me not stop for shock over them 5 cultural things here. Number one, food for breakfast. Me say, come morning time, me could not believe me I see where I come from, Cuba. Breakfast time is barely a little sip of coffee if you're lucky. If you are a little bit more privileged, you may have some cow's milk and maybe a little bread. Member says 21 years since me left. But this is what me remember about the Cuba I left behind. You see, when you reach a Jamaica now, me say boiled dumpling, me say liver, me say kidney, me say ackee and saltfish with dumpling and food, me say rice and peas and all that dinner and morning time. Up to this day, me not exaggerate, me not tell no lie. Me can't get over the fact that Jamaicans have a whole meal for breakfast. Number two, manners and respect. Me don't know what was it about the Cuba me left behind, but we never did practice manners and respect. My grandmother always did tell me that manners and respect in Cuba died in 1959. You see, if you buck up on somebody, you just buck up on somebody and move. You see, if it's morning time, you just wake up and move. You see, if it's evening time, you just walk through and move. But you see, in a Jamaica now, in a Jamaica, you better practice your manners and respect. You have to say good morning. You have to say good evening. You have to say good night. If it's a night time and you know I go asleep, you still have to say good night. If you buck up on somebody, you have to say sorry. You have to say sorry. You have to say sorry. You better say sorry. Boy, me wish Kiwa will take up back manners and respect. Number three, eating out. You see the Kiwa I left behind, going to restaurant? That was not in my vocabulary. The liquor restaurant that did exist were owned by the government, and let me tell you, you don't want to name that food there. Eating out for my family was almost like a taboo because we were so afraid that we will get sick. So every time we will travel to another province for health reasons, for whatever reason it will be, we carry our own food, we carry our own liquor bottle with juice and them thing there fi eat, and you will not eat out because you don't know where them process them food, you don't know what did they in that food, and there was no guarantee that you will find food a road. But you see, Jamaica now, you just go a restaurant. You don't need no special occasion. Restaurant just dead. You have fast food restaurant, you have regular restaurant, you have cook shop, you have people that sell a roadside pan chicken and them thing there. A different culture this. Number four, Elpa. I mean, no say everybody in Jamaica don't have no Elpa.
Wagwan peeps. So, what do the late Jamaican Prime Minister Edward Seago, British author and socialite Lady Colin Campbell, and former Miss Jamaica as well as Member of Parliament Lisa Hanna have in common? It would be that all three descend from persons who fled the Levant and came to the island of Jamaica fleeing religious persecution in the late 1800s and early 1900s. Although known as Syrians in their native Jamaica, their ancestors were originally from places such as Palestine, Lebanon, and Syria. Unlike the Chinese and the Indians who preceded them, the Syrians who found themselves on the island of Jamaica found themselves there as religious refugees and not indentured laborers. Many of whom were Christians, specifically members of the Greek Orthodox Church, and were fleeing the expansion of the Ottoman Empire, and upon arriving to Jamaica, quickly had to adopt Catholicism or the Anglican Church, finding no Greek Orthodox Church on the island. As I said, while in Jamaica they are known as Syrians, they do have their roots in Palestine, Syria, and Lebanon. Reasons being because as time goes on, borders change. They brought with them names such as Issa, Mahfoud, Azan, Hassad, and many others. As time marches on, Syrian Jamaicans continue to leave an indelible footprint on the island. Aside from Syrian bread, which is their contribution culinary-wise, the one and only Abraham Elias Issa, grandson of a Palestinian man from Bethlehem, is known as the founding father of Jamaican tourism.
These are the 5 biggest cultural shocks I suffered as a Cuban moving to Jamaica. If you're new here, hi, my name is Flor. I am Cuban and I've been living in Jamaica for 21 years. And me still remember them 5 shockers here like it's today. Number 1, throwing the toilet paper in the toilet. Cuba is a very different place right now, but back in my days, you couldn't do that. First of all, we didn't even add toilet paper. We did use newspaper, and then you have the little basket beside the toilet, and then you would have put the paper in there. So me did put the toilet paper in the basket, and my mother-in-law had by mistake couple times. Number 2, meat. When I went to Jamaica, I went to live with my mother-in-law, and she did have a helper. So the helper would have cook. And the first time I see the helper cooking, I swear, say, they might keep a welcome party for me. And I was like, oh my God, it looked like I missed the notice that they're keeping a welcome party. And then when dinner time come, miss everybody, I share them plate. And I'm like, no party, no, I keep again. And I asked my husband, and I say, oh, no, I keep party or something. He said, no, why you are asking? I said, but me I see a pot full of meat in the stove. Like, what is that? And he said, no, that is how we cook here. I'm like, excuse me? You see, in my Cuba, the one that I was coming from, we cook a little tiny piece of meat and it's counted per person. Let's use an example of a chicken very quick. My family will slaughter a chicken at home. We take part of the chicken to make soup. That will be the 2 foot, the neck, and the intestines. The soup will be 1 meal. Another meal will be the leg and thigh them. And another meal will be the breast and the chicken back. 3 meals, 3 different meals out of 1 chicken. Me never adjust to them abundance them there. I was shocked. Number 3, it was the lack of public display of love. You see, in Cuba, people are kiss, people are hug, people are make out, people are fill up one another in a public. People sometimes even in a public. And most time, I did have to find myself holding back when I was in public with my husband. And every time, like if I kissed him or anything, I just felt like everybody was like, what are you doing? Get a room. You know, it was very uncomfortable. And 21 years later, after practicing that, I have found after visiting Colombia and Brazil, which are places where people do that, just like in Cuba, I feel like, boy, me really miss out in hug and kisses. Number 4. Jamaicans bathe a morning time. In Cuba, nobody no do that. I am not saying it's because we are nasty people, but because we don't really have the resources. We don't have the water. We don't have soap. We bathe 2 times for the day. So in a Cuba, it's normal for a man to wake up a morning time, wash his face, and a woman wake up a morning time and she wash her face and she wash her and go about them business. Number 5, and this was one of the biggest adjustments I had to make. It was wearing a brassiere and just changing my general way of dressing. Jamaicans' way of dressing, Jamaicans' style is impeccable. I have been to many different countries and I have never seen anybody who dresses as well as a Jamaican does. And I am so glad and thankful that I adopted that type of that part of the culture, because my IG name is Flor Cubana, that style, thanks to Jamaica. I literally went to Jamaica without a brassiere. I never did wear one to begin with. One of the first type of shopping that my mother-in-law took me to was to buy underwear. She's like, do you want to go shopping? I said, I couldn't even say yes. And she's like, let's.
Greetings, me people. Greetings. Blessed love and respect. Me day Winifred Beach, and me just want to tell you, say, The reason we speak patois, or Jamaican, as we call it now, me not call it patois again because it's a language. We call it Jamaican. Me speak it out of respect for the people them, right? This other language of Jamaica, and we have enough respect for the people them. And my husband asked me to speak Jamaican from now on and say, you know, you live here 6 years, it's time for you to speak Jamaican. So out of respect, me I learn the language and I practice. And you know, me not know everything, but me I learn. And this morning in the grocery store, the cashier was laughing, young gal, laughing at my patois. And me just make a joke and say, boy, it must sound funny to hear the Canadian accent. I speak Jamaican. And me just make a joke out of it. And she said, oh, please stop speaking patois. And me say, why? And she said, because it make me laugh so much and I feel embarrassed. I said, it's okay. You can laugh. I'm in a business. Me not stop chat. Anyway, I guess that's not Jamaican to say anyway. All right, so the water cool, a Christmas weather this, them say, right? But enough wind and anyway, we're blessed to be here. We go swim in Winifred Beach, sea water. All right, respect everybody.
Welcome back. I believe that you have watched the video. The way people from different countries are very interested and very happy to visit Jamaica. You see, people from India, people from West Africa, people from East Africa, every other country, they are very much interested in visiting Jamaica. And the reason why is because of the warm welcoming. The environment is so pleasurable. They do things that are very interesting and very nice to any other person. Even if you're not from that country, they treat you as if you're a member of that country. And that's the very, very good thing about Jamaican. I'm going to tell you the reason why many people love Jamaican. One, about the reggae music. The reggae music has messages. And those messages, when you listen to them very keenly, you'll get the full information about the way people are and the way things are being done in Jamaica through their music. And that's the very good thing, that even if you're from other country, you can be much interested and much attractive towards Jamaican language and Jamaican music. When it comes to food and culture, their culture is so nice. They do things that are so good. Even you can see the video, the way people are explaining and the way they are showing the love that they got in Jamaica for the first time. But it makes a lot to be interested towards visiting Jamaica. When you see others are going there for a trip, others are going there to see the nature, others are going there because of the culture that is there, others are going there because they have been motivated. They have seen the reason why others are very interested towards it, that motivate them to go and visit. Others are going for business. When it comes to business, by the way, many, for example, the Chinese are going there because of the business, and they really encourage them, and they are being motivated. And that's the reason why you see many people going there, starting their own businesses, and it's really developing and they're really benefiting from it. And that's nice of the Jamaican, and that encourage a lot. Also, when it comes to the welcoming and also the culture, and not forgetting the hip hop also. When you listen to the hip hop music of Jamaica, it has another message. And when you listen keenly, that message motivates a lot. That message encourages. And even if you pass the videos and see, I'm sure you will get the clue and you get the full evidence why a lot of people love to visit Jamaica, why a lot of people appreciate the Jamaican. You see, like, it have become a country that is a mixture of black people, white people, Hindus, Chinese, and that's encouraged a lot. You need also to visit. You need also to go and stay there. Not just to go for a trip nor go for nature. No, you should also, like others are intermarriages. And that's another thing that is good also, because it motivates a lot. You see, now we have Indians and the Jamaican. You get Chinese and the Jamaican. You get the white people and are speaking Jamaican. You get even the black people. They are very much interested. That's why we call Jamaican a mixture. Like, they are very, very nice people and they motivate a lot. Please, if this is the first time that you're seeing my video or coming across my video, don't forget to comment, share, and like. See you in the next video, and I'll be back with more comments in my next video. Bye bye.